Welcome back to the Hemp Lucid podcast. My name is Chase. I'm here with my lovely co-host Talon.
Hello.
And today we are going to be talking about energy. Energy after 45. And, this was really interesting when I was doing some research for this episode. I was not prepared for this stat, but 43% of older adults experience significant fatigue, tiredness, not pain or stress, but the most common complaint in the aging population is fatigue. It's actually the number one complaint, which I was not ready for that. I thought it was going to be pain or sleep, but fatigue is the number one complaint of aging adults. So, it's like we don't feel old, we just feel tired,
Yeah.
Age
totally.
is just a number. And as 40, 45, obviously the body starts to slow down on all the fundamental biology, and our biology starts to change. I'm not in my 40s yet, but I have more gray hair than most 40s and 50-year-olds because of stress, and just life, body changing due to stress and just life in general. But all right, we can get into it here. I don't know if there's something you wanted to dive into. Okay, so the reason why we start to feel tired after the age of 40, 45 is really just the accumulation of damage that we've done to our bodies through being alive. Our environment is extremely toxic. The amount of toxins that our bodies are fighting on a daily basis is definitely in the hundreds, possibly the thousands. And especially for that older age demographic, they didn't grow up with the internet. So, I think back to like my parents, my father in particular, who grew up on a farm, all the pesticides, all the chemicals, these guys were handling things they shouldn't have been handling. And some of that stuff is actually even illegal today. So, the older demographic is really, had some, I guess just a pretty damaging environment to their mitochondria. And mitochondria is the energy center of the cell. That's where everything happens as far as energy production, ATP, or what is it? ATP in the Krebs cycle, all happening within the mitochondria of the cell. So, let's see. So some of the frustrations that I think just anybody in general feels when they feel tired or not fully awake is to dive into the stimulation loop.
Yep.
Which consists of, I think coffee is the most popular drug on earth. Caffeine is a drug, and we all love it. How can you not love it?
It's good.
So the stimulation loop: coffee, sugar or snacks, and alcohol or sleep aids to shut the system down at night. And that is that's a really mean loop to get in. And I can speak from experience, but coffee first thing, and then as you're getting the crash of the coffee, you're reaching for a snack that most likely is sugary. And so now you're getting a sugar spike that you try to maintain throughout the day. And then you ultimately end up getting that sugar crash, which leads to lots of inflammation and not great sleep. And then you're just stuck in this cycle that,
borrowed energy cycle.
Yeah. definitely, it's a borrowed energy cycle. And yeah, I mean, it's been fun to make changes over the years to, like, where we are now. Starting the morning. I think starting the morning with water, salt, lemon has been like game changing. Also adding Sheila J into the morning, my morning routine, and then falling into the caffeine coffee goodness around mid morning. But I get up, I get my day going, try to get everything functioning, moving, and then drinking coffee mid morning, so I'm not completely depleting my adrenal glands for the day. All right.
Yeah, it's basically like doing the shift between stimulation to cellular vitality.
Mm-hmm.
So stimulation, you're essentially like slamming on the gas pedal, telling your body to do something that it's not quite ready for, versus like fueling the actual engine itself. So fueling your mitochondria, regulating your nervous system, improving your sleep quality, and just over that overall function of cellular vitality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is, definitely where everybody wants to be.
Yeah.
And, as we were looking into some of the research for this episode, I found this was, pretty interesting, and why focusing on like cell vitality that over just like stimulation and kind of the, what did you call it? The borrowed
energy cycle.
Yeah, the borrowed energy cycle is, oh man, I lost oh yeah, this one here. Caffeine starts to metabolize slower after you hit 40. So the liver enzymes that break down caffeine become less efficient. And what used to take, 4, 5, 6 hours to clear actually starts to linger in your system for 10 to 12 hours. And so this results in lighter sleep, more nighttime awakenings, less deep sleep. Even if you fall asleep or don't have any problems falling asleep, you're still not getting that deep restorative sleep that we talked about in one of our previous episodes. So actually caffeine, as you get older, actually has a pretty, I wouldn't say like detrimental, but definitely more of a negative impact on the body.
Yeah. Than
I guess what it would be if you were drinking coffee when you were a younger.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. All right. And then the adrenal tax, there's a lot of talk around depleting adrenals. I take a break from coffee a couple times a year just to bring my adrenals back. I feel like they can get pretty depleted when I'm just drinking coffee like water. So,
well, and coffee isn't actually creating energy. It's blocking the signal that's telling you you're tired. So again, it's borrowed energy. It's not really real. So, I mean, we drink it a lot right now because we have a lot of night disruptions with our newborn. But yeah, I think it's just important to know, like, what are our stimulants actually doing? I mean, I can't knock coffee. We drink it, but I do know it's not really doing what I think it's doing. So how can I support my adrenals, or not, at least not deplete my adrenals completely, and find other ways to make me feel energized that are a bit more natural.
Yeah. Something that kind of like figured out, trying to avoid like the afternoon crash, right? I think the afternoon crash like totally sucks.
Yeah.
But instead of just like slamming coffee first thing in the morning, it's like starting to drink coffee mid-afternoon, mid-morning, after 10:30, maybe around 11, and then just sipping on it throughout the day until 3, 4, 5, and then backing off and
never before eating breakfast.
Yeah,
like
no.
Coffee on an empty stomach is just not.
Mm-hmm.
It just shouldn't be done.
Right.
I mean, get the real fuel from like a healthy breakfast.
Yeah. Hydration.
Yep. Hydration, electrolytes,
cold shower.
Yeah.
Like, I think the number one energy hack in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, nothing more. The alertness you get from like just like a cold shower or cold plunge in the morning is, I don't think anything comes close to that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
how can you not wake up getting in cold water?
Yeah.
It's just a thing. And, you know, especially as we age, I think our nervous systems are less tolerant of constant stimulation.
For
it's
sure.
Not good. I mean, it sucks because I feel like the age of retirement is getting pushed later and later, if at all. We see a lot of people that are older still working, but we need to rest.
Mm-hmm.
We need rest.
Mm-hmm.
So constantly stimulating ourselves can wreak havoc on our bodies. It can amplify anxiety, tension, palpitations. And yeah, like nobody likes that feeling of being like jittery.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just either like jittery or drained, or like it's kind of doing the opposite of what you want it to.
Right.
So I think it's something to be very, very mindful of as we age is, you know, we have these rituals that we're accustomed to, like that, making that morning cup of coffee and doing that. But again, it's just about mindfulness around it. Like you don't have to uproot your entire thing, but these small, simple changes that'll make your day and your energy and your focus and your adrenals and all of it so much happier.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I couldn't totally agree. And I think some of the other like natural supplements out there that I feel like is starting to like make it into the older demographic, like the boomers. Like, it's so fun for us to have most of our clientele be the boomer base, because it's like the nootropics, the functional mushrooms, like the Sheila J, like all these things you think would be associated with like the younger demographic, and they are, you know, I think it's front and center with some of the younger people in our population. But for like the boomer generation to start really taking a look at like those supplements is like kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
You know, especially, and you know, we talk about our parents a lot because, you know, obviously they're our general customer demographic and base. So it's fun to hear, you know, parents talking about nootropics and functional mushrooms, you know, like wanting to try lion's mane because they know it's good for brain health.
Yeah, I mean, most of the conversations I have with my dad now, he's like, I saw this article that about this and that. And it's usually something I know about, but it's awesome to see him doing. I mean, he's always been more on like the natural side of things, but yeah, just breaking into it more and more and getting excited about something that's not pharmaceutical. Because I feel like so many people in that generation are stuck on, what is my doctor giving me? And yeah, it's so fun to see them break out of that and get excited about natural.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think the fun one has been like the functional mushroom side, you know, like lion's mane, cordyceps. I think pretty sure both of our parents are taking those supplements. And we have it in our focus gummy. Parents love our focus gummies. So it's fun to see, you know, it's fun to see because it's like their consciousness is raising, which is just like, you want that in your parents. And I think that's why I just get so like, yeah, our parents are like doing it, or like the older demographic is like starting to wake up, you know, that deprogramming into like healthy, functional, whole foods, supplements that can give them a better quality of life, is like actually happening. And to watch that is just, it's so fulfilling.
Yeah, you don't expect it, one. And two, it's a generation that has been so heavily programmed. So for us to make it out, it's like awesome. Like we made it out of that like program. But to watch the older generation who are like more stubborn, to be honest, and just like more accustomed to something, for them to break out is like, I mean, it feels miraculous. It's very cool to see.
For sure.
And for those who haven't, like, that's why we're doing the podcast. So you can get to know, like, hey, there's something besides
right
what you've been doing to help you with the energy that you're losing as you age.
Yeah, the energy and focus.
And that's why we have created specific products for helping with focus.
Yeah. I think the interesting thing with CBD and focus is that it's not necessarily like people lack focus. It's the background noise that prevents people from being able to like mentally lock in. And I mean, I've
speaking from experience.
Yeah, I mean, even just this week I was just like couldn't focus and just having a hard time locking in, and did a little quick breath work session, put my face in cold water, took a little bit of CBD, took a focus gummy, and 30 minutes later it was just like
dialed.
So I think that's
and I think
something nice to just bring awareness to.
Yeah, I think that's really an interesting distinction too, because like people want energy, yes, but not being able to focus is so tough.
Oh yeah.
Like, especially when you're required to do stuff. Like there's a lot of different functions I do at our company, and I'm also watching 2 kids, and it's so hard to get dialed in. So to have these natural supplements it's not really about energy. It's just about quieting that noise, kind of getting rid of the anxiety, getting your nervous system dialed in, and then quieting all that stuff down and improving your natural focus is such a big thing.
Right.
That I think people are just like, well, I just need energy and caffeine's going to help me do that. But sometimes that overdrive is almost, again, giving you the opposite effect of what you're looking for.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And I mean, the other big supplement that I think is obviously really popular is B vitamins, but also making sure that you don't have the MTFHR and you're taking methylated vitamins. I mean, that was a big game changer for me is, I have this methylation issue, and then started taking methylated B vitamins and was like, wait, what? Like pretty noticeable.
Yeah.
Pretty noticeable. And then I think this is just foundational to all health, hydration. I've seen, and I like totally agree with this too, but I don't know if it's a study or research paper, but basically what they were saying is pretty much all disease comes from dehydration or lack of dehydration. Because what ends up happening is when you're dehydrated, then your body starts to become inflamed, and then from inflammation comes all disease essentially. And so, I think hydration should definitely not be overlooked. And I mean, even just feeling that with ourselves, we were fortunate enough to, acquire some technology that increases the bioavailability of water. And, we make a hydration formula that when we're not on it, it's very, very noticeable.
Oh yeah.
On everything, entire body function.
Yeah. Energy levels.
Oh yeah.
Stamina, brain fog. It's crazy. And now that I think about it, like we carry our water everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. Like if I don't have my water bottle.
Hydration water or just
like water in general.
Yeah.
It's like it's with me at all times. Like even if I'm driving to the grocery store and back, I'm like, I'm going to get thirsty for sure. I don't ever see like the older generation carrying water.
That's totally true.
Like ever. I'm like, do I ever see... Like, is my, like, I don't know, like, this sounds bad, but I see like a Diet Coke or,
lots of soda.
Or like, what's that coffee shop?
Dutch Bros.
Dutch Brothers. Yeah. Like they're carrying some
sugar
to increase their energy when like really their body's like, just, I need some water.
Yeah.
Give me some electrolytes or something.
I need water and electrolytes.
So I think that's a huge shift people can make. start drinking some water.
Yeah, this was a really interesting study. In hydration in adults aged 55 to 75, poor hydration was associated with greater declines in global cognitive function over 2 years, suggesting that even subtle hydration differences can influence brain performance and perceived energy. Dehydration in older people effect on health outcomes and cognition, which makes sense. I mean, your brain is fat and water, and not as we get older, not drinking water, you just kind of shrivel up.
Drink water. Start carrying a water bottle around.
Yeah.
Give up that Diet Coke.
Right.
I think that shift alone would be massive.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I mean, essentially the older population is trying to get energy, but also clear the brain fog. Mm-hmm. And brain fog is, I mean, essentially it's inflammation. Inflammation, poor sleep, the massive swings in blood sugar, chronic stress. And I mean, I don't think that's just people who are getting old. I think that's just general across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, brain fog. Definitely tell when my mind isn't sharp that it most likely contributed to not sleeping or eating something sugary, which I don't do very often, but when I do,
it's instant.
I'm usually like, damn it, why did I do that?
Instant regret.
Yes, instant regret. This is kind of another interesting study on inflammation and mental clarity. This study found associations between sleep quality, brain metabolites, and cognitive scores in adults over 60, linking sleep architecture with day-to-day focus and energy. So poor sleep, cognitive decline from neuroinflammation, which it's not only, the neuroinflammation is not only happening from like what you're eating, but also your sleep patterns and your sleep architecture. And so, just a little bit more on sleep quality over sleep quantity. You can sleep 8 hours and still like deep restorative sleep. We talked about that on the sleep episode, but that deeper restorative sleep, this is where the brain clears metabolic waste, which is, a vital function for resetting attention circuits. So if you're having trouble focusing, maybe take a look at your sleep, and you might not be getting that deep sleep that maybe you thought you were.
Yeah. I definitely noticed that with myself. Like if I have a bad night of sleep and the following night I sleep really hard, it's still like almost just as disruptive.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not getting those natural cycles. I'm entering like one stage of sleep instead of going through that. And it's,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, this one you kind of touched on earlier, I don't really see the older generation carrying around water bottles. It's like something in a plastic soda bottle or something. And it's like, I look at that older population and it's like, it's blood sugar spikes. It's like drinking the soda, you get the spike, and then you get the crash, and then you get the headache, then you take the pill, and then you drink the soda again. And it's just like, it's this evil cycle and loop that is all just, the foundation of that is all just your blood sugar spiking.
Yep. And then you're trying to control your blood sugar all day, and it's just
right.
Nasty.
So as you start to get older, how do you build your energy stack, or, what does your energy stack routine look like? So we kind of broke it down into just kind of how we've structured our lifestyle, because it seems to work really well for us.
Yeah.
But first thing, upon waking up, hydrate. Hydration is the first thing. hydration, sun, no phones, no screens. That is, it's pretty foundational. I mean, it's like every day, our son gets up as soon as it's light. So
Sun's up.
Sun's up. So dad, sun's up. That means get up, get downstairs, get some sun, and let's get some water. I mean, should actually like film it because it's like so funny and awesome that, our 3-month-old or 3-year-old is like, let's go. Let's get the routine going for the day.
Let's get some electrolytes.
Yeah. He loves electrolytes. And then from there, delay the caffeine intake. So, we make coffee first thing in the morning, but we don't start drinking it until after we eat and kind of settle in for the morning. So I'd say maybe hour and a half, 2 hours, we delay our caffeine intake.
Yeah, I've actually noticed that with me. Like, if I wait, I have this natural energy in the morning anyways. So it's like I allow that to do its thing. And then when I start to feel that, like, oh man, like feeling a little sleepy, that's when I start drinking my coffee. And that's not till usually like, I don't know, 11. Like I just know I've been noticing more of my own body's natural rhythm cycle or energy cycles. And yeah, like don't just chug the caffeine because that's what you're used to. Like feel into your body.
Yeah.
Let it signal when it's ready.
Yeah. I know when I need to take a caffeine coffee break when I drink coffee and I get tired.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time hearing that from somebody, they were like, yeah, coffee makes me tired. And this was 10 years ago. And I'm like, what? That's the most ridiculous thing ever. Like not knowing what I know now. And so, yeah, it's just one of those things that's like, oh yeah, I actually can drink coffee and get tired. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And that's when I take a break. And then, I would say our kind of have a mid-morning stack. I mean, supplements, Sheila J. It's like water, supplements / with food, and then usually caffeine right after that. And then as we get into the day, movement, like we definitely take breaks throughout the day, running around with our kids or running around in the backyard, getting some sun, taking a walk around the block,
going to the park.
Like the movement and sunlight is just like foundational, non-negotiable.
Yeah. And that's another really hard thing. We talked about in a different episode, but we have office chairs, we have couches, we have all these things that are like just so easy to stay sedentary. So just set an alarm, do that movement break, because you can get so dialed in on something and forget, and then you're crashing out. But yeah, get up, move around.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, the night routine, and we talked about this on a previous episode as well, but it's like really put intention into your night routine. I feel like we've done a really good job of almost creating like ceremony around our night routine, because it's like, yes, it's time to go to sleep. Yes, this is exciting.
Yeah.
So no screens a couple hours before we start winding down. No we switched not all, but most of our lights over to red lights in our rooms. So, we have a sound healing room. Sometimes we'll go in there and play some bowls or chimes, and just, really start focusing on, getting calm, winding down, getting into that restful state, and then falling asleep tends to be fairly easy.
Yeah.
So this episode is going to be a little bit shorter, just because I think it's just generally pretty easy to make a couple tweaks and a couple changes to increase your energy. And I think we did, fairly good job of kind of outlining it all above. Water in the morning, good food, get out in the sun, put your feet on the earth. I think sugar's a big one. And it's just sugar just throws a wrench in my entire day if I consume too much of it.
Mm.
I mean, it's the inflammation, the energy crash, the brain fog. I mean, I feel like we do really good about staying away from sugar and processed foods that aren't really food. Eating whole foods. That's probably another big one that we didn't talk about in this episode, but that's kind of just foundational baseline for us. Like, just eat whole foods.
Stay away from processed foods. You'll feel better.
Yes, definitely. All right. I think we can end. We'll end this one just talking about our focus gummy, because it's just awesome. I mean, our focus gummy has a little bit of CBG. CBG is an uplifting, energetic cannabinoid. So we have quite a bit of CBG in a single serving of our focus gummy. We've paired that with lion's mane, as well as two nootropics, L-theanine and L-tyrosine. And excuse me, the blend of all those ingredients together just produce this experience that is undeniable when you take it. Mm-hmm. A couple of years ago, when they were having the Adderall shortage, our fastest growing product during that time was the focus gummy in our B2B pipeline in our independent pharmacy vertical. So, I mean, you can't replace Adderall, because Adderall is, pharmaceutical meth, but to have our gummy grow significantly in that channel just was more of like proof to us that, we actually made a product that people were actually supplementing with when there was an Adderall shortage, which I think is really cool. And we worked with people over the years of people trying to get off Adderall with CBD products, and particularly our focus gummies.
Yep.
It's one of the main, so it's top 3, top 4 pharmaceuticals that people want to get off but can't get off of, and that's Adderall. Because of production. We need to be productive, which ultimately leads to burnout, which we talked about on a previous episode.
Totally.
But do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, I think the focus gummy is one of my favorite, just because I am a tired mom. Mm-hmm. And I also am working. So I think it's one of the best products and supplements I've found for that afternoon crash. I tend to take it I feel like I can get a lot done in the morning, but I do tend to have that little bit of drag in the afternoon or burnt out, and it's perfect. I take one and I feel like I'm so set for the rest of the day, and not only getting my work accomplished, but playing with the kids, getting dinner, all this, it just requires a lot of energy the second half of the day. And I feel like our focus gummy has been super helpful for that, or super helpful if I'm going into a meeting, or just anything that's longer than, I don't know, when I'm not able to break up my day as I normally do and have long tasks to accomplish. The focus gummy is absolutely key. So I think it's a great product.
Yeah, totally agree. I think just the last thing I want to touch on is we've talked a lot about routines in our last few episodes, and I think it's pretty vital for your success, or really maybe just success throughout your day, to have some sort of routine. So I think that it's good to have a routine before you start getting older. I wish I would have had the routines I have now 10 years ago. It definitely would have probably significantly changed some aspects of my life. But I think having routines early is vital and critical for success and the longevity of our health.
Agreed.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one.
See you later.